The two teams that, well, in the West anyway, you knew they were destined to clash in an important game sometime. It didn't happen in the West region last week. It happened in a much bigger plane, the state title game.
Well, and deservedly so. Both these teams come in 21-3 on the year. I think arguably, and by the numbers that they've limited their teams to, they're the two best defensive teams in the state. Mandan has been here before. This is their 5th straight trip to the state championship game, and here is their arch rival. The only thing that stands between them and finally, instead of being the bridesmaid, actually taking the altar as the bride.
Yeah, the Bismarck High Demons and Mandan Braves, they split during the regular season. They played those games pretty close to each other. In fact, the last game was 10 meetings ago. That was a Bismarck victory. Mandan won the first game when Bismarck played its worst half of the entire season. And so, hey, it's the rubber game and it's the big game.
And keys to the game, for those we go to Scott Peters and John Cole.
All right, thanks, guys. Hey, it's the biggest of games right now. Mandan, you won't find a more aggressive defensive team, but sometimes they get into foul trouble. They have to limit those fouls tonight. Also, like we said last night for the Bismarck Demons, it's Natalie Bruner. Mandan has to make sure they know where she is at all times.
All right, Scott, Bismarck has to have the attitude that they can win this thing. They have to come out and say, we can get this thing done, like they did during the second half of the '99 season and when they beat the Braves. Also, they want to push the ball, but they want to be patient. Don't get boxed in. Look for seams so Bruner can penetrate. So don't get boxed in.
And we're going to see a great game tonight. I'm guaranteeing that right now, guys.
It is fight night.
And Kylie Newstall, the lone senior, who with a significant playing time, playing her final game. We talked a little bit about yesterday, some of the injuries that she has battled through. She still has a stress fracture in her left leg. She had one earlier this year in her right leg. And the juniors really would love to see her go out with the state title championship. Last year, you may recall, Newstall's shot went off the glass and off the rim at the buzzer that would have given Mandan the win over West Fargo. It didn't.
On your left, Natalie Bruner, 5'6" junior guard for the Bismarck High Demons. 20 points a game is what she's averaged this season. She's had 18 in each of the first 2 round games, and both West Fargo and North, in some stretches of the game, contain Natalie Bruner. But in both of those games, at key stretches of the game, Natalie Bruner was there to produce for Bismarck High.
Well, tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Dodge and your friendly Dodge dealer.
For the Bismarck High Demons, there she is, Natalie Bruner, 5'6" junior. Along with those 20 points a game, she also chips in 4 rebounds and 3 steals a game. Also, Rochelle Gossett, a 5'10" frontliner, a senior for the Bismarck High Demons. Another guard is Jenny Saylor, a 5'6" senior. Saylor averaged 5 points a game during the season. Stacy Mees, the best 3-point shooter on this Bismarck High team. She's a 5'4" senior guard. And also up front, Lindsay Ness, a 5'11" junior. Ness averages 8 points a game. She had 14 on Thursday, came back with 7 points and 9 rebounds yesterday. Rich Levelin in his 7th season as Bismarck High head coach.
Kylie Newstall, the senior starter for the Mandan Braves, averaging just under 7 points a game. The point guard is Carrie Hansen. She is a very good one. Transferred in her first season in high school basketball in North Dakota, and she's in the state championship game. Played at Fort Collins, Colorado the last couple of years. She is a junior. Amy Free is a junior wing player. She is second on the team in steals. Inside, Angie Frenzel. Angie, a junior at 6 foot, second leading scorer, leading rebounder, and leading shot blocker for the Mandan Braves. And Nikki Wright, the other junior, 4 juniors in the starting lineup, has really found her 3-point shot here at the end of the season, and especially here at the state tournament. For head coach Greg Amundsen, again, Greg has gotten his teams into this title game for the last 5 years in a row. It's the 6th time in the 90s. Back in 1991, Bismarck and Mandan met for the championship. The Demons won that contest. It's the Braves. It's the Demons. It's 21-3 against 21-3, and it comes your way in moments on NBC North Dakota Sports. Bismarck High High in game 15 of this year beat Mandan by the score of 52-48, Dan. That was the first time since the championship game in '91 that the Demons beat the Braves. They'll try to do it again here tonight.
Mark Husted of Jamestown and Gene Manson of Minot, the officials, and here we go.
Neusto wins the tip, and Kerry Hansen brings it down. Bismarck loves that man-to-man defense, and that is what the Braves are facing right here. Bismarck on a lob pass from behind will give up its first 2 points to Angie Frenzel. Frenzel on a backdoor cut.
And does that look familiar? Because
yes,
that is one of the areas of vulnerability in that Bismarck defense. We saw Fargo North attack the Bismarck defense that way last night with some effectiveness, and the first possession down the court tonight, Mandan uses that play. And you know what? That's a play that Mandan has had in their playbook all year long, but has never used until tonight.
And they scored 2 points on it. There was a quick foul on Kylie Neusto. Ness tried to go reverse side, so 1 possession for Bismarck, and already 2 Mandan fouls.
Well, and that's another key to the game. We're going to watch the number of whistles that are called against Mandan tonight, because in the last meeting between these 2 teams, Bismarck High went to the free throw line 44 times. Now, they missed about half of those and still won the basketball game, but how many whistles and how tightly this game is called tonight is going to be a factor in the game.
And both of those first 2 fouls were on Kylie Neusto. Ness missed the first one, and as her season average goes, she makes the second one. Bismarck not an really in-your-face style of man-to-man defensive team, and that goes off of Frenzel on that same play after a bump from Ness.
And look at Greg Amundsen. I mean, he's all the way out to just about half court in front of you and I, Lee, to plead his case for a whistle. Speaking of whistles, on that play.
Mandan reaches in for a foul as it was getting dangerously close to a 10-second count. Amy Freeze, her first, team's third.
So we've played 55 seconds and already 3 team fouls on Mandan.
1-3-1 zone, a matchup style of zone. And of course, where is Nat? That is what Mandan is looking for. They want Bruner to go to her left.
And Bruner already kind of adjusting those 2 right fingers that were fractured earlier in the year and that she kind of re-injured last night.
And Ness scores off the pass from Bruner. Yes, she broke the right little finger, and she has it taped to her ring finger on her right side. And if you ask her how's that finger, even though it's broken, bumped, and bruised, and an offensive foul on Angie Frenzel, and Bruner will tell you that finger's okay. 4th foul on Mandan.
Well, and Rochelle Gossett had well-established position.
There's Bruner with the ball, and Bismarck has numbers. Bruner is so good at that. She missed there, but an offensive putback. Who did it go off of? Hansen. Good look at Rochelle Gossett. 3-year senior starter for Bismarck High. Not really known as a scorer, but she gets it done. Defense and rebound.
Look at that in-your-face defense by Nikki Wright on Saylor. And they'll play Saylor extremely tight because she is not the shooter. That person with the ball before that, Stacy Mees, is the shooter. But 21 Saylor, they will come on her tight.
Now it's Bruner at the point. They're tight on Saylor, as you mentioned. And a bounce pass goes to no one.
Well, they think they can force some turnovers in that situation because they want to hound Saylor, make her put her on the floor, and then possibly trap her or make her into forcing a pass as she did there.
Stacy Meese defensively on Hanson. She has played her almost exclusively through the first 2 meetings. Lob pass, back door to Conlon. Conlon fouled before the shot, and when Rachel Conlon comes into the game, Mandan really looks to get her the ball in scoring spots. They want her to score, and she did it. She scored 5 quick points yesterday. The foul was on Gossett, her first, team's first. Freeze pulls up, and Nikki Wright is fouled. Jenny Saylor right there. Foul on Saylor.
Both Saylor and Gossett were inside trying to scoop up that loose basketball.
Right with the inbound. Freeze for 3. Frenzel with the second chance, and she is fouled. Was it on Saylor or on Ness? They were both right there. It is B on Saylor on the reach-in. Ness, a very good shot blocker, really contested, but it's the foul on 21.
Shields instant replay. She takes a step in off the dribble and met by a pair of defenders, and that's why you really didn't know which way that foul was going to go, because certainly both had made contact with her.
We're tied up at 3-all. Lindsay Ness has 3 points. Angie Frenzel has 3 points. So the 2 centers. So far, there you see what Frenzel has done in the tournament. Had 10 in game 1, 9 yesterday. And Bruner with the rebound. She averages almost 5 rebounds a game too, so at 5'6", she can get that done. Meese.
She'll take that shot.
She is set for that shot. She has range from beyond that. Stacy Meese for the 3. Her feet were ready to go.
Well, and she is comfortable taking a 22, 23-footer. Almost the longer the better.
Nikki Wright had it roll off. And Bruner with another board, but she is double teamed. Stepping in front of the play is Freeze, and an offensive foul on Amy Freeze. Well, watching a game and reffing a game, it's all about angles. And from our angle, that didn't look like a foul. From Mr. Eukstad's angle, it did. That is Lisa Bruner, who's in a double team right now.
And she almost lost her pivot foot, but did a heck of a job keeping it on the floor.
Frenzel stepped in front of Bruner. Remember, she's the center, but throughout grade school, Frenzel was a guard forward, so she has that ability, and she draws the foul on Meese. Now, both teams almost even up on fouls after Mandan jumped out quickly in that department. Along the baseline, Heidi Zander, the 5'1" sophomore.
5'1". That's the shortest player that I can recall in the last 10 or 11 years in the State A tournament. I remember the Middleton sisters from Red River, Donna and Stacy, I believe it was. They were about 5'2" or 5'3", the state tournament in this same building, but I don't remember anybody 5'1".
That's the perspective that Coach Amundsen and his assistants have. Mary Shue, number 50. A junior at 5'10". So there'll be 1 senior, 1 sophomore, and 6 or 7 juniors that'll play for Mandan. Right. The high arching 3 comes down to Lisa Bruner, the older of the 2. It's the senior. And a reach-in foul on Wright. Those are the fouls that'll drive a coach crazy. If it doesn't take the hair off your head, it'll change its colors.
Well, we've seen a lot of that Mandan bench already. I mean, my gosh, we're not even 4 minutes into this basketball game, a little more than 4 minutes, and already we've seen a good part of the Mandan bench.
And 2 quick fouls on Nikki Wright. In fact, that first foul by Wright in the backcourt, is what Coach Rich Hovland of Bismarck High would call, and you see him there, a Norwegian trailer. She was playing the Norwegian trailer defense.
The Norwegian trailer defense.
Watching from behind as your opponent's running away, and what made it worse for Mandan in that instance is she reached in and fouled.
Yeah, you bet.
Lacey DeWall is in now for Bismarck High, and the front end of that bonus was no good for Bruner. Lisa DeWall, a junior at 5'10". Frenzel will try for 3. And 5'1" comes up with a rebound, and she is so quick, went right around DeWall, and the gal they call Z will go to the free throw line.
A little Heidi Zander using her quickness there, was able to gather in the rebound, and it's not a matter of going back up quickly if you're a post player, but when you're 5'1", you try to scoot around the defense, and that's what she did. She scooted.
And she scoots a lot quicker than most. She's quick. Well, obviously both teams wanted to come out and shoot well from the field. That hasn't happened for either team, which is why we're in a close basketball game right now. It is 6-4, Bismarck leading. We'll be back to Jamestown. The state, Rich Hovland will have 1 week off before between being the head coach in girls high school basketball to, in this case, for Bismarck High boys, he is an assistant. 1 week is all they have. And right now, he is thinking championship game.
And I'm thinking that they want to get Natalie Bruner a good touch in this set. She hasn't had a lot of touches, decent touches in the first 5 minutes of the game.
D-Wall flashes high post, gets it to Ness. A second chance for Lindsay's good.
Well, they'll take that. That was a good touch. Ness camped right underneath the basket.
Boy, to beat a zone, there's nothing better really than a backside flash, because the defense can't see it coming, especially for Bismarck, who's Mandan rather being concentrating so much on Bruner. Shue runs it down, and she stepped out of bounds. She also traveled, so you could have picked one or the other.
Yeah, little contact there between Lacey D-Wall. But Shue did turn it over.
Conlon in. And Mary Shue goes to the bench. One thing Bismarck wants, and they have right now, is see how far apart they are. It's called spacing.
Yeah, they love to spread the floor. And especially the person who benefits most from that then is Natalie Bruner, because she loves to operate in those alleys and move through the alleys of the half court and create off of that. But Mandan so far, LT, I think has done a good job getting someone sliding down and helping out defensively on Bruner, even though she scores there.
You know, there's no way that there will be an assist on that play, because there can't be to Lacey D-Wall, but she set the screen that opened up that shot. D-Wall screened the weak side. As Gossett will come back in, Rochelle, the 5'10 senior, in for Ness. And so that three-person post rotation for Rich Hovland is all working now as D-Wall and Gossett are in. Ooh, offensive foul on Natalie Bruner. Take the charge. That's what Coach Amundsen talked a lot about today in his shoot-around. We want to take a charge, and there Hansen just did.
Yeah, it's all about sacrifices tonight defensively for Mandan when they're trying to defend Natalie Bruner, and that's what Carrie Hansen did there. She planted herself, got those heels dug in, and took the charge.
And a hold underneath on a foul, I think, on Lisa Bruner against Conlon. And Mandan in a position in this game late in the first with 1:45 left where the Braves really need some points.
Just the one field goal so far, and that was an early field goal by Frenzel.
Conlon to shoot 2. Very good free throw shooter, 70%. I thought that was on a shot. Sorry, that was a bonus. Bruner pulls up. She's fouled.
Boy, she loves that part of the game, and she able to get herself in a position where she can lean up into the defenders, because when that contact is made, the defender's always going to get the foul called on them. So she almost forces the foul on the defender. She's real skilled at doing that.
Amy Freeze picked up her third as Bruner hits her first. In fact, in my opinion anyway, of the players that I've seen in Class A this year, and maybe the entire state, we have the two best at pull-up shooting off the fly pull-up jumpers in this game. You're looking at number 5 right there, and the other one is Carrie Hansen, who has the ball right now. And a big 8-point lead for the Demons.
You know who forced Hansen into that turnover? Natalie Bruner, because Bruner denied the pass that Hansen thought she was going to have. And Hansen came down hard.
Twisted. Yep. I to be honest with you, didn't see how it happened or what she did, but
lost her balance because she tried to hold up on throwing the pass, because the pass would have been picked off, and when she held up, the force of her body threw her onto the floor.
And it's Crystal Dykert, number 34, who came in, and there's a big bucket. Kylie Newstill hits a 3 with 1:15 left in this period.
She's had the hot hand all day. I mean, she was uncanny hot in the shoot-around today.
And there's Heidi Zander creating a turnover on Natalie Bruner. So there's two things you don't see very often. It's Hansen just flat giving one away, and Natalie Bruner doing the same.
Mandan believes positive things happen off of turnovers in defense. Let's see if that happens in this set. I mean, both these teams get a lot of points off of turnovers.
Crystal Dykert, was she on the way up? Gossett had a little grimace on her face, her second personal foul. So there's 2 on Gossett, 2 on Saylor, and 2 on Lisa Bruner. And here it is, Dan. Another,
right.
Yes, just tried to stop, and
it's her left ankle
roll
that twists and rolls.
You know, you can tape them up, and definitely Mandan does tape, you know, her ankle. But when there's force like that, and the shoe catches, kind of like a shoe does an AstroTurf there, it just caught. The body gives. And Dykert misses the front end. But it'll stay on. And I think D-Wall got popped in the mouth. But she's got popped in the nose, so she has blood and should have to come right out of the game. There's blood running down the face of D-Wall. And as soon as the officials see it, she'll have to come out.
Yes, she will. They got some help from the Bismarck bench, pointing out that bloody nose.
And that'll bring Gossett right back in. The foul is on Crystal Dykert. And Lacey D-Wall will go down to see the trainer. And Natalie Bruner will go to the free throw line. 9th team foul.
You hear us talking about gym rats from time to time when we do these tournaments. As we take a look at the bloody nose and how it was bloodied. Oh, it must have been a fingernail.
Yep.
Or it could have been the wrist there. Somewhere in there.
We'll go ahead and follow up on that. You're talking about
Natalie Bruner. She's the type of person just who on her own time will show up on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. She showed up at a Sunday morning recently and the gym was locked. Couldn't get in. They had changed their security system around here. As it turns out, she had been coming on her own time in the mornings, shooting around, spending the time it takes to take your game to that next level.
Rachel Conlon's first, and it'll be super bonus time here in the first quarter. So all fouls will be 2-shot fouls until we hit the half for Bismarck, and Bismarck's not far behind to return the favor.
18 fouls in the first 7 minutes and 40 seconds of this game. If that trend continues, some folks won't be around for the final few minutes of the game.
Bruner made the back half of that. 15-7 is the lead. This is the closing seconds of the opening quarter of the Class A championship game here in '99. Crystal Dykert running out of time. Zander tipped by Bruner. That'll be a blocked shot, and we have played a quarter. The quarter won by Bismarck, 15-7. So it's the Demons' edge so far.
Mandan down by 8 after 1 quarter. I'm with Mary Pearsall, former Miss Basketball, former Mandan Brave, current Bison. Mary, Mandan's known for their tenacious defense, but it kind of can get you in trouble at times too, can it?
Yeah, it gets in a little bit of foul trouble right away, and they already have like 10 fouls in the first half, so that's going to be like a disadvantage for them right away, but hopefully they'll start playing some defense with their feet and stop reaching, and it'll go better then.
What do they need to do to turn this around here?
they're just so aggressive that they sometimes get caught up in what they're doing, and they don't like move their feet. They just don't want the ball all the time, so that kind of just gets them in trouble. So they gotta stop doing that again.
All right, thanks, Mary. We'll see you in NDSU Jersey. Back to you guys.
Yeah, she's been impressive so far in camp, we might add.
She'll play a lot of minutes this year for Amy Rulli.
Well, Bismarck with the lead in the ball here to start the quarter. Jenny Saylor doesn't pull the trigger often from outside, but can hit the three. Bruner's tough going to her right, but that time overshot everything. Lacey Dewall got the blood stopped in her nose, and Carrie Hansen's ankle appears all right. She pulls up from 15 off to the left.
She missed the shot, but she was cutting down the court, and that ankle looked okay, as you said, as she was making those cuts.
Mandan will keep on the held ball situation underneath because Bismarck got it to start the period. There's Jenny Saylor, 5'6" senior. You know, throughout the course of the third place game, we had little snippets, little sound bites of interviews we do throughout the course of the day, and none of the Bismarck High girls really wanted to do it too bad except Jenny. I'll talk. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Most of them weren't real excited about the two and doing the TV gig.
Well, and Jenny's not too excited about the foul she just picked up there because that is her third now. And she's the point guard too, keep in mind. So when she sits down here with over 7 minutes left, that brings in Beth Johnson.
Now, Johnson has the experience. She started about half of the year last season at guard for Bismarck High. So certainly you don't like losing your starter, Saylor, but you bring in someone that's got a lot of game time underneath.
Yeah, and Beth did start because in the early part of the year, because Stacy Meese was coming back from an ACL injury. In fact, she came back almost
quickly.
2 months early.
Yeah.
We'll clean up a wet spot. If you've ever been out playing basketball and you hit a wet spot when you're trying to stop, that's why
West Fargo met mine.
really pay attention to getting those sweat marks and that type of thing picked up, because that can be wicked. Angie Frenzel, 56% on the year from the line, hit 1 of 2 tonight.
She's kind of a unique player because of the skills she possesses. She runs the floor well. She can dominate inside. She had 7 block shots in the fourth quarter alone in the game against Williston this year. She could shoot the three. I mean, she blends a lot of nice skills together in one package.
Absolutely, and she is Mandan's leading scorer in the tournament.
Nearly came up with a steal there.
Well, again, that attributes back to what we talked about earlier. We're coming through the earlier grades, even though, yes, she was one of the taller players out on the floor, but she learned the skills to play a 2 or a 3 position, knowing that when she became a center later on, it would come into play.
Bismarck trying to trap prior to the half court. Both Zander and Hansen were really stoking up the heat defensively, and the foul will go on Hansen.
Boy, you can tell this is an intense go of it. Each whistle from each coach and brings a different response from them.
Yeah, if you want good reaction, all you need to do is take a look at the coaches tonight when a whistle blows. It's pretty good reaction along the benches.
The foul was on Hansen, her first. Don't even worry about team, because we've stopped keeping track of that. You keep track up till 10. And then it's 2-shot foul from here on out, and Stacy Meese hits the back half of that. So already there's 2 points as Mandan turns it over. 2 extra points that Bismarck High has had because they missed the front and got the back of a double bonus because of the 10.
Hansen trying to fire that pass over. She maybe forgot that there was 5'1" Heidi Zander over there. The pass a little too far off her fingertips.
Beth Johnson switched pivot feet. 16-9, as it really should be in this tournament. Low scoring, because the games have been predominantly.
Sure have been. That's been the trend here at the State A girls in '99.
Lob pass to Frenzel, trying to use some of those skills you talked about, Dan, and she does. Angie Frenzel, leading scorer in the game now with 7.
Frenzel got her first field goal early in the game off that lob. Mandan's first possession. And it's something they really haven't gone back to since then. And look at that hounding double trap and double team at the half-court line. And again, another foul whistle.
And they're calling it on Carrie Hansen. Mandan is saying that she's pushing off, trying to get through that.
Greg Amundsen wants to have a word with Mark Ukestead.
Have called the 20-second timeout to talk to Mark about that.
Well, we told you a couple of keys at the outset of this game. Attitude, Bismarck's attitude. They were able to come out and establish the lead early and enhance the positive attitude that they actually carried into the game. One of the other keys, how tightly would this game be called? It's being called pretty tightly, and there's the foul numbers are mounting.
Now they're up there. 9 for Bismarck right now. And 12 total fouls called against Mandan, and that puts Stacy Meese back to the free throw line. But you know, Meese did a pretty good job there, Dan, of kind of hanging around the half-court line, not crossing it to get herself into a true trap situation. And she hits 2 in a row now. She's not a 4-year varsity player for nothing.
A 3-year starter, 4 years total varsity experience.
6 in the game now for Meese. The lead is 7. That's time left in the second quarter.
Whoa, quite an elbow there, and she got caught.
Frenzel.
Tell you what happened was that Stacy Meese dropped down defensively and made initial contact, but Frenzel definitely answered with a pretty heavy-duty elbow.
Well, Stacy Meese has drawn the last 3 fouls called against Mandan. 2 on Hansen and 1 on Frenzel. And all the scoring in this quarter done by Stacy Meese at the free throw line. She missed her first and has now made 4 in a row. And if this one goes in, it will be Bismarck's biggest lead. And it is a 9-point lead. It was 8 at the end of the quarter. Bismarck recovered quickly to get back into defensive position there. Frenzel from the high post. That's one of the areas, and a reach-in foul called on Bruner. That's one of the areas that Mandan felt it could attack Bismarck in this man-to-man defense, was try to do a little high-low stuff. And we talked about Meese getting all the scoring for the Demons. Frenzel in this period has done all the scoring for Mandan.
Well, and if you're Mandan, I think you would like to get Carrie Hansen involved in the offensive end. She hasn't scored yet in the game, and she really has been a non-factor. And with her skills, I don't know how long you want to go here facing a deficit without making a real effort on getting her a good look at the basket.
A good look that, if nothing else, would lead to a pass, an assist to a basket.
Well, exactly.
Because, you know, you're right. She hasn't been able to do that at all. Almost a turnover, and it is. There is Hansen. Now Hansen will have a chance for her first 2, and she gets it. Well, right on cue, Dan.
Well, and points off turnovers. Last night, Mandan had 27 points off of turnovers.
And now Stacy Meese got called for the push-off. And that's what Mandan was saying she was doing earlier in the game. Boy, the Mandan crowd behind us on their feet. The entire Mandan bench on their feet going, thank you for making that call.
Hansen at the other end off the turnover finishes. Oh, that's a huge stat for both of these teams. Points off of turnovers.
When we return, it'll be a 6-point Bismarck lead.
When you want to go where the road ends and life begins,
Explorer. Touchdown, the Magi doing a number on the vaunted Packer D. But the Packer offense got going.
Well, that was Rich Hublin. You didn't quite hear what he was saying, but he was talking that entire time out about attitude. He wanted his team to want the ball against the press. When you have the ball on offense, to try and do something with it. Want the ball. Newstall wants that 3 and didn't get it. Mary Shue went off of her.
Attitude has been a driving force behind Rich Loveland and how he's handled this Bismarck team. Even though it has the record and it has the respect, he's continually challenged them to believe that they are the better team, that individually you want the ball. You want to be in the situation to take the shot. You want to make the steal. It's attitude, attitude, attitude.
Michelle Gossett to break the press, and it almost was, turns into an easy two. A potential steal, I should say. It came right to Lisa Bruner, and she saw Ness wide open.
Boy, can you feel the intensity of this game? I hope you can at home, folks, because the intensity level here in the arena is certainly fitting for a championship game between two strong rivals.
There's Hansen with a good pass to Mary Shue, who laid it up short. Bruner zigzagging. Well, many times she just zigzags her way right into about an 8-footer there. I was kind of waiting for her to keep going.
You know, and she's continually fiddling with those fingers. The finger that was fractured earlier in the year, and that was probably bumped and bruised and banged and about 5 times last night.
Well, she whacked it hard enough yesterday. Who knows, it might have broke again. Nice, they'll have to honor her behind the line.
I think you're happy if you're Mandan with the job you've done in Natalie Bruner to this part of the game.
Well, she had 6 points, but only 1 field goal. Another turnover. Here comes Hansen, a 2-on-1, unless Bruner gets back, and it will put Carrie Hansen to the free throw line. Hansen, the steals leader for this team, averaging almost 4 a game, comes up and tries to finish off another one.
Shields instant replay. There's that Norwegian trailer defense that Lisa Bruner had going there momentarily as she was trying to chase down Carrie Hansen.
Hansen misses the first. 71% free throw shooter. Rachel Conlon and Beth Johnson back in.
2-time All-Stater in Colorado.
As a freshman and sophomore.
Her team is about to begin its season in Colorado. They play winter basketball, the girls do in Colorado. She was about the same type of player. I mean, she hasn't come from Fort Collins to Mandan and become a different type of player. She was the same type of player in Colorado as a 2-time All-State player as she has been in her first year here. A great playmaker, a scorer, a person who really excels in a wide range of the game.
And that's who we're talking about, Carrie Hansen, as Bruner shoots 2 off a Heidi Zander foul.
You know, and some of the folks back on the eastern side of the state may know Carrie's dad, because Carrie's dad, John, is a Fargo native. He was a heck of a football player at NDSU.
And he moved back to North Dakota to head up the Ag Research Center in Mandan. 1 of 2 for Natalie. She now has 7. Conlon blocked by Ness. No basket, so you don't count the hoop, and it's a foul on Ness, her first. It'll be a 2-shot foul nonetheless because of the double bonus or the super bonus for Rachel Conlon.
Shields instant replay. Conlon is able to regain the ball down around the hip area, go up. Ness with the block there. New still keeps it alive. And
So
the foul coming
on the swat
on
before.
the swat earlier, exactly, in the first part of that replay.
Conlon 1 of 2 from the line now tonight. And with both teams in the super bonus, don't expect to see a lot of field goals, to tell you the truth. It'll be points off of free throws here in the last 3.5 minutes.
That might be a foul.
Oh, it's called on Newstill. You
Yep.
thought the reach around or the hook? Which one were you looking at?
Well, I was looking at the hook, but they get her for the block.
Third one on Newstill after she picked up the first 2 of the game. I tell you, Mies has been aggressive with the basketball, though, hasn't she?
Yes, she
as
has.
soon as Jenny Saylor picked up her third, we said, well, she's the point guard and an important part of this team. Remember? Well, Stacey Mies stepped into that point guard role and has made Mandan foul her left and right.
Well, I think that's part of that frame of mind, that positive, be the aggressor frame of mind.
Timeout on the court at the 3:34 mark of the first half. It's 25-16, Demons leading. Bismarck has crossed the half-court line. There's Bruner. Splitting the defense and kicking it out.
Despite that double team, she was still able to get her body between the defenders. Oh my.
Scooping it in. Natalie Bruner showing her athleticism. She has such a quick first step, and she's so fast in the basketball floor, you'd assume that she's a sprinter, right?
That was a pretty individual effort.
Now she runs the mile and 2 mile.
That's right, a distance runner.
Hansen up from the baseline. She has not had a good shooting tournament.
No, she hasn't. 4 field goals. Carrie Hansen has 4 field goals in the entire tournament to this point.
And here's Bruner's scoop on the Shields instant replay.
Little hop and jump.
Hansen spinning back and out to Frenzel, who goes around Mies. That's a good move for a 6-footer. And it comes down to the Demons. Frenzel takes it back and scoots right past Gossett, who was still on the floor, and it didn't go. Gossett wants to come out. So she's not feeling well.
Shields
She hit the back of her head, that's why.
Sure she did. You can see her laying on the Shields instant replay, laying just on the edge of the paint.
And now Stacey Mies, who has done all the damage in this quarter for the Demons, picked up her 3rd. And then it'll be an injury situation in the substitution. That's why Ness is not waiting. Yeah, Gossett hit the floor, talking to Mike Neff right there, one of the trainers. Frenzel leading Mandan in scoring, 6 in this period, 9 overall. Hansen out, and so is Mies. Conlon and Ness tie it up. Arrow going to BHS. Bruner knocked away from behind. Is that Dykert that got a hand on it?
Yes, it was.
Frenzel down the lane, out of control, but it don't matter. 2 more for Angie Frenzel.
6-foot guard-like play by Frenzel.
Nikki Wright called for her 3rd. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in this game with 3 fouls.
A good number of these folks are not going to play 32 minutes tonight.
Not if this keeps up. Lisa's missed her 2 free throws this evening. In 39% on the year. So Wright is out with 3. Conlon takes a rest as Mary Shue comes in. And at least that was one substitution that Greg Amundsen made that didn't involve fouls. Second one from Bruner, good. 8-point edge by the Demons.
Stay tuned for the North Dakota Farmers Union Insurance halftime report.
Bruner with the steal off the pass. Hansen tried to go to the corner, and Bruner was right there, threw it right to her. Lisa to her sister. 90 seconds left to play in the half. DeWall splits the defense, and there is our 6th player with 3 personal fouls.
Hansen with 3.
3 fouls on Carrie Hansen now.
And
that'll bring in Caleb.
Greg Amundsen going deeper and deeper into the bench.
Well, in their last meeting, they had all those free throws by Bismarck High. In the second quarter, Kylie Newstall and 4 of the JV players played. Well, we're getting close to that, even though Newstall's out because she has 3 now. DeWall's second rolls in. Only 5 field goals in this period, but we've had quite a few points because of all the free throws. Hine, Frenzel, open from the elbow, and she drained it. Who else for Mandan would be scoring but her? I think that's 13-10 in the quarter.
Yeah, and she was left all alone. There was no one really there to contest that shot at all. Had her body squared, had a good look at the basket.
Under a minute. Bismarck High throws it away. Caleb Pine is number 14, a 5'7" junior. Dykert to Zander. Zander along the baseline and off the backboard and good for Heidi Zander.
And what a nice job by Heidi Zander to gather it in quickly, make that quick dart to the baseline, and adjust her shot at 5'1" so it wouldn't be blocked.
Dykert and Bruner tie it up. Crystal Dykert with the defense.
Shields replay. Look at little Heidi Zander, 5'1", right there. Just delays that shot as she hangs in the air for a second to avoid the block.
But Heidi just threw one away.
And that's frustrating if you're Greg Amundsen, because you've just created a turnover. You have a chance to maybe get within 3 or 2, and you turn it over back immediately.
Bruner, she was harassed by Shu. Gossett tried to flip it to Ness. We're down to 10 seconds left, and that'll be a travel on Zander. Bismarck gets it back for the final 10.
You know, there is nothing in this game that is not uncontested. Every time someone receives the ball, especially in the paint.
D-Wall for 3. And it comes back. The Demons had a couple seconds. The shot is in the air and through. Two-pointer for Lisa Bruner at the buzzer.
She can't believe it herself.
Lisa Bruner scoring at the buzzer to make it 31-24. Boom. Shields instant replay shows the result. 31-24. John Cole, take it away.
Thanks. It's a battle, Coach, here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We're both battling each other pretty big time, beating each other up and whatever, but we have 31 points. We haven't had 31 points at the half in this tournament yet, so it's nice to see we're scoring. I think it might go down to who's left on the floor at the end of the game. Both teams are backed off to a zone now. We're going to try to stay aggressive and try to get into the fourth quarter with all our kids. I think that's the big goal.
No, Kid Rich, thank you very much. We'll let you go. Thank you.
You bet.
Dodge Ram.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Greg Amundsen, and Coach, you got 4 starters with 3 fouls already. Can you keep up your tenacious defense in the second half?
Well, I kind of like the pace. It's what we want to do, but you know, we're trying to take care of the ball, and we're going after the ball, and it's being called. You know, and right now I'm looking for cheerleaders to dress right now, but we just got to take care of the ball a little better and make free throws, and we're right in the game. We're not in a panic mode by any means, but you know, just a few breaks here and there, we'll be right in it.
And the way you guys can score points, you're always in striking distance, too.
Well, we're in a frenzied mode right now, and we just got to get it under control. And as we talked about, the kids just staying within themselves and, you know, just getting after it a little bit. So.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck second half. Guys, back to you.
Mandance down by 7 is missed free throws. He hit that one right on the mark. The Braves missed 10 free throws in the first half. Third quarter, start of the second half comes your way right after this.
Tools give you the power to achieve goals.
Well, Ham, we knew there were a bunch of free throws, a total of 42 made, but look at how many few field goal attempts Bismarck actually took, only 12.
11 less than Mandan, but they shot well, hitting 7 of those 12, 58%. Turnovers high because of the intensity, the defensive pressure in the basketball game, and leading scorer, Bruner with 10, Mies with 10, Frenzel leaving Mandan with 13.
And here we go. Bismarck High with the ball to start of the third quarter. They also have the 31-24 lead against a 2-1-2 or a 2-3 style of zone.
Again, points off turnover big. Out of the 24 points Mandan scored, 16 came off of turnovers.
And Bruner dribbled it right out of bounds through a pretty good double team between Newstall and Fries.
Turnover. Let's see if they convert points off of it. And Hansen wants it.
Because of the fouls, both teams in the zone, and Frenzel takes advantage of that. And Angie Frenzel with her 15th point.
Frenzel's tough to defend because she's a post player. She receives it in the high post, but she has the ability to put it on the floor from there.
10-second count, turnover. Well, Bismarck did a good job, I thought, in the first half at times of being patient and bringing it across the half-court line, but you have 10 seconds to do it. That time the Demons did not get it done. In the high post, Newstill for three, got it. Newstill hit a three-pointer in the first quarter, and what was once a 7-point deficit is now 2.
You know, she woke up with the shooting touch today. There's no doubt in my mind that she crawled out of bed. She could have hit a shot from the hotel to this side of the Civic Center.
And another turnover.
5 points off of 2 Bismarck turnovers to begin the third quarter, and a chance to tie now or take the lead.
Frenzel down to Wright, blocked by Ness.
And Wright comes up
Offense.
limping.
Another player with 3 personal fouls. Natalie Bruner just picked up her 3rd on an offensive charge.
Shields instant replay. No doubt about it. She has well established her position when Bruner slams into her, and Bruner's going to have to sit for a while now.
And now Nikki Wright does come out as Bruner sits to take a look at Nikki Wright's injury. Wright on the bench again. Frenzel drives, dumps the pass to Conlon. Out for another 3 from Freeze. It comes down to Lisa Bruner. I mean, Natalie Bruner averaging over 20 points a game, just a hair over on the pine now with their 3 fouls. She won't be there too long, I don't think.
And that's a big worry taken away from Mandan defensively.
Reach in on Freeze.
Number 25, Amy Freeze, her 4th personal foul. First.
And it looks like Nikki Wright is being looked at around the corner and maybe into the locker room. There she's not talking to Mike now.
And laughing. That's a good sign if you're a Mandan fan.
Hey, you don't laugh when you're in big time pain.
Foul situation. We started this quarter. 3 each on Newstill, Hansen, and Freeze. Also 3 on Nikki Wright. Saylor and Mies had 3 for Bismarck, along with Lisa Bruner.
Jump ball. You have to jump to get that one back. There's the true definition of a jump ball.
Now, if Gene Manson has any jumping skills, he'll go up and claw that down. Will he?
No.
No, he took the easy way out. So much for Gene's vertical jump, huh?
But since things have been going right for Mandan, the arrow pointing their way off a shot attempt by Ness. So, well, they're going right for the Braves right now. Conlon ties it up.
Well,
7 straight to open the period.
And Rochelle Gossett gambled. She went for the steal, lost position, and when Conlon got the pass, it was just nothing but the glass and the basket in front of her. Real important now for Bismarck to have a good, in-control offensive set. They haven't had that yet in the third quarter.
And with Natalie Bruner not playing, Bismarck's ability to just drive in and score at will is not there. That goes off of Gossett. So you're right, Dan. Bismarck needs an offensive set to get a good look. Timeout on the floor at the 4:48 mark. It's a 7-0 run to tie it up.
Pick and go.
Don't stand, don't stand.
Everybody has got to move now.
Ricky, you guys.
You flash post, you got to move, Ricky.
There was Here's a look inside Mandan's huddle at that timeout. Tied at 31. All the points in the third quarter belong to Mandan to tie the game up.
Well, as if Mandan's crowd needed anything else to get more excited, the swim team just walked in with the state championship trophy, and they're parading that around. So, I mean, this building now, which has been at a real intense level, with this shift in momentum Mandan's way, it's a crucial juncture of the game, I think, for Bismarck High.
And as we guessed, Natalie Bruner not sitting very long with those 3 fouls. She's back in and looked and guarded by Heidi Zander right now. Hansen and Zander almost got the turnover, but Mies out to Saylor in the corner nets.
Bruner really wants the basketball. She's just off your screen to the right on the wing. And she's been jumping up and down with her arms up. Get me the ball, get me the ball. Now she moves to the free throw line.
Well, she really wanted it inside that
did.
time. Now Natalie has it in a double team. Setting up the 3. And that's 2 shots that didn't hit iron for Mies. The best outside shooter for Bismarck. These 2 teams met last in 1991 in this championship game. Bismarck High beat Mandan then. And it was 8 years later until their last meeting before Bismarck beat Mandan in the regular season. Hansen, a wicked crossover dribble, and she didn't get the roll though. Held ball, goes to the Demons. How's that? 8 years between victories between these 2 arch rivals.
And no wonder why each one is so sweet for Bismarck High when they beat Mandan.
And somewhere in there, I would assume, yep, Kelly Hankey off to the right of where that trophy is. Kelly Hankey was a starter for this Mandan High School basketball team last year, and in her senior year decided to go swimming. She is the top breaststroke swimmer in North Dakota going into the state tournament.
Well,
so she has her championship, and now she wants her teammates to try and get one.
Greg Amundsen said at half, we got to start dressing up cheerleaders if we get in foul trouble. Heck, cheerleaders. How about Kelly Hankey? Pull her down from the swim team for the rest of the game.
Well, we've been stuck on 31 all now for almost 3 minutes. That initial 7-point burst for Mandan tied it up. The Demons have yet to score in the period. And Bruner has been forced constantly to go to her left. Not her best movement to try and score. Bouncer, beautiful pass. D-Wall finds Lindsay Ness to break the scoring drought.
Nice high-low post play there by the 2 Bismarck post players.
D-Wall tipped it and kept it alive, had a bounce pass and tightrope the end line. So good job there by D-Wall on both ends, the assist and the save.
Well, I got to think that that finger is bothering Bruner more than she wants anybody to know, because every time she doesn't have the ball, she's constantly messing with those fingers.
But there she found Ness. It did not go, and there is a foul. Or was it out? A bounce? No, it was a foul. Oh, 4th foul on Natalie Bruner. Natalie Bruner out with 4 fouls. She had 10 first half points. She's her leading scorer. The Demons up by 2. Boy, it has been a while, a long time, if at all. Mandan's led in this game. Hansen blocked. That was Ness again on the spin move. And there's 4 fouls now on Kylie Newskull.
The last couple times down the court, though, is as aggressive as we've seen Carrie Hansen putting the ball on the floor as we have all night long. And earlier, before she set up a basket, here she spins, has her shot blocked. But that's 2 times in a row now that she I think has sensed the urgency.
Nikki Wright came in for Newskull, so Wright all right after missing some time with an injury. Off the high flash. Oh,
I thought she pulled the trigger
I think
there.
it's because she missed the other one so badly. But Meese will tee it up again from 3. This time, air ball long.
Air ball short. The one before that, now air ball long.
And without Natalie Bruner, someone from Bismarck's going to have to score. But yet, the Demons have the lead. Zander just zipping right through everybody. Now here's Hansen, trying to work off a screen, but doesn't really use it. Bismarck switched the screen. That puts the taller player, Frenzel, to the basket. Conlon the offensive rebound.
Is it physical in there, LT?
Yes, indeed.
My goodness. Oh, what a look.
And didn't go. Frenzel again, and a foul. Lisa Bruner, I think she's got 4.
Yes, she does.
Number 13, Lisa Bruner, 4th personal.
Third time down the court where Mandan has had something positive happen by Carrie Hansen putting the ball on the floor and attacking the basket.
And then the frenzy afterwards would eventually led to the foul.
Who was physical underneath there?
5 of 8 from the free throw line was Angie Frenzel in the first half. She now has 16 points. And when everyone else was sitting on the bench with fouls in the first half, Frenzel was playing and scoring. The only one really doing any scoring of significance at all. And she hits 2 to tie it up at 33.
Now, I have her for 2 fouls. Is that what you have her for,
yes.
LT? So she's in good shape.
Yeah, her and Lindsay Ness have 2 fouls, and Gossett only has 2. Meese around the pressure. And Nikki Wright just picked up her 4th. Ooh, with 7 seconds left to play in the third.
Freeze with 4, Nikki Wright with 4, Newskull with 4.
Bruner, both Bruners with 4.
Yes, Lisa and Natalie Bruner with 4.
And Crystal Dykert comes in for Nikki Wright. This is seconds left in the third. Meese will tee it up.
My.
She got it. The furthest one of the day, and she nailed it
and
with a huge smile on her face.
Look at the smile on her face, and I think she probably said something like, about time.
And that breaks the 33 tie. 2 field goals, 5 points in the entire quarter for Bismarck High, and they take a 3-point lead off of this bomb into the 4th period. That's a bomb.
Visiting with some young Demons fans. What's your name?
Jamie.
How old are you, Jamie?
12.
All right, he's got the Demons #1. What's your name?
Jesse.
How old are you, Jesse?
12.
All right, he's got Demons rule, and then he's got the Braves XL. What you guys think of the 3?
That was awesome.
What'd you think?
It was awesome.
You guys gonna win the state title here?
Yeah.
All right, guys, they thought it was awesome. Thanks.
All right, here we go, and I think we're going to have an awesome finish.
Sure looks like it.
Because of the foul situation, we're not totally sure on who those players will be in the finish.
Foul away from the basketball here. It's going to go against D-Wall as she was doing battle along the blocks.
Well, Rich Hovland has to be happy in the fact that that's the first one on Lacey.
That's right.
Of all the players out there with the fouls, up for 3, Zander, no. Who else? Frenzel. Frenzel again. No. She'll try a 3rd time maybe after a dribble off the backboard. A 4th time Frenzel. 4 times the charm for Angie Frenzel. Man, 19 in the game. What an effort.
Oh, she's a magnet to the basketball right now. She will not be denied.
That pulled Mandan back to within 1. Again, that huge big bomb from Meese at the end of the third gave Bismarck the lead going into the 4th quarter. Jump ball, held ball. Who has the arrow? It'll stay on Bismarck's end.
Zander and Dykert double teaming and forcing that dead ball situation.
Ness will switch in. Gossett will switch out. Bruner again with 4 fouls, not in there right now. Johnson, the 3rd guard. Bismarck working on that spacing, trying to create an angle to the basket. He's through a double team. She drew a bunch of fouls in the first half that way, working through double teams. Ness lost it on the bounce pass.
Well, she took her eye off of it for just a second to kind of survey the court and see where she was going to go next with the pass when she received it. Take your eye off of it a split second, and that's all it takes.
Mandan has some chance to do something they haven't done in a long time in this game, and that's a lead. 36-35, Demons up. Hansen underneath on the duck under. Mary Shue, another offensive board. Ness will be called for the pushing foul, and now Lindsay Ness has 3. Ness kind of walked into Shue that time, it looked like.
I know one thing, Lindsay Ness had her arms up. Let's see if she moves her feet into her at all.
I think she does a little bit. Yep.
Maybe her lower body. Minot, or Mandan rather, is attacking the boards ferociously here.
Amy Freeze will come in for Crystal Dykert. Gossett is in for Johnson, and Shue awaits her second free throw attempt. Still a 1-point Bismarck lead. Frenzel, the block, the steal. Not the points. The reach in on Ness. Let's wait and see. Nope, 21.
Shields instant replay. Frenzel causing more frenzy. This time with the steal, drive into the basket, can't convert. And then look at the white jerseys. I mean, circle the camp with 5 white jerseys, and somewhere in there came that foul.
Jenny Saylor called for her 4th personal foul, so she checks out. Hansen at the point, behind the line. Mandan has the lead on the 3.
She hasn't scored many field goals in this tournament, but the last 2 nights, her timing has been impeccable.
Yeah, had all 3 of her field goals last night were 3-pointers. The 27th 3-pointer gives Mandan a 2-point lead. Gossett got position inside and a block on Conlon. The 4th team foul, I believe, in the half.
Nice look by Bismarck High, though, with Bruner continuing to be saddled with 4 fouls and on the bench. They went inside where they can do some work with D-Wall and Ness on that post.
You saw Greg Amundsen want a timeout. It's a full timeout, so we'll break away at the 5:35 mark of the 4th quarter. Mandan by 2.
Sometimes it's hard to decide when to call the doctor. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield is offering this 518-page
Basketball. And then we need 500 people boxing out and going and getting the board. Okay? We're in box down here as long as they're in zone. Okay? You 2 are on the baseline and you 2 are up top. Move it around, get some flashes, look to get the ball that high post.
Here we go. Yes, indeed. 5 hungry people on the defensive board. I mean, Mandan has to be 16 or 17 maybe offensive rebounds in this game. And the Demons working on a deficit. There's the 3rd foul on Frenzel. Boy, the way she has played. Last thing Mandan wants is her to be in foul trouble. She has 19 points.
Oh, she's been a terror on the boards.
You know, yesterday we talked about in traffic, Ness with an offensive board, it didn't go. Who's it coming down to? D-Wall. And Hansen and Conlon were there, and it was Hansen on the ball to create a turnover on a held ball situation. To get back to my point on Frenzel, we called her the best player in the state, or one of the best that no one knew about. Well, they know about her now.
If she hasn't had a coming out party before tonight, this is it. They tried to run her on that weak side back door there, and she just couldn't quite get the separation from Ness. Don't be surprised if Mandan tries to execute that play somewhere along the next 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
Now Mandan will bring it to the near side.
See that collision between Frenzel and Stacy Mees?
High-low post to Conlon. Walked. No basket. Travel is the call.
Greg Collinson got the finger, the index finger from Mark Ukestead. Talk about sign language. It was, sit down, coach.
And he promptly did.
Yep.
Natalie Bruner back in with 4.5 minutes left, so she has sat quite a while after those 4 fouls. We have 6 players with 4 fouls right now. Bruner, nothing really there. I tell you, we sat through Mandan's shoot around today, and we shouldn't call it a shoot around because it was mainly defense that was talked about. And one of the main things talked about is Conlon. Oh, Hansen just picked up her 4th now. Was watch Bruner and know where she is. And I tell you, Mandan's doing that very well in this matchup zone.
You betcha. Awareness. Bruner awareness.
You know, usually you get pretty excited or make note of the fact that someone has 4 fouls, and the way it's gone in this one, it's like, well, Hansen, what's another person with 4?
It's common nature in this game.
D-Wall ripped it right away from Freeze. Bruner inside, and she will go to the line on, I think, Frenzel's 4th. 35. Now Angie Frenzel has 4.
And how about the war on the boards? Both teams really just willing themselves on the offensive end of the court, the offensive boards. We've seen Mandan have 2nd, 3rd, and 4th opportunities. And here Bismarck does the same, and Bruner cashes in.
But the free throw barrage we had in the 2nd quarter has not happened here in the 2nd half, which is why Mandan has really gotten back in the game. We're tied up at 38.
Lee and I will be naming an American Dairy Association Player of the Game after this game.
Frenzel short.
Look at her.
Another one. And she is fouled. And Frenzel may have came down a little wrong on an ankle, but I mean, she has in this 2nd half alone at least 6, if not 7, offensive rebounds.
Shields instant replay, goes up between the double team, and after the tip ball, she just goes up above everybody else and gets it.
She has 20 points now. It was the 2nd foul on D-Wall. Nikki Wright comes in for Zander.
Where would Mandan be tonight without this young lady?
Down by about 10 points. She's got 21 now for Frenzel. And the 2 free throws puts Bismarck back up. This is where Bruner's danger. She is dangerous in the open floor. And she caught a hip on the way down and went down rather hard.
She hasn't had much court room to move around in tonight. Shields instant replay down the middle of the court, and Conlon just got a piece of her with the hip.
3rd one on Rachel. Now 8 of 11 from the free throw line in the game for Bruner. And with 3:33 left, Angie Frenzel takes a rest with those 4 fouls. Yeah, Hansen and Frenzel picked up their 4th foul 11 seconds apart. Bruner now with 13 as we break away with 3.5 left. It's a 1-point difference. Mandan up for now.
Sometimes when I get the ball, it feels like I can fly. Like I can go up and up and up.
You're the strong side post. Okay? If Kylie doesn't get it, into you, into Kylie. Just up the...
Well, they're trying to set up a play for Kylie Newstill, number 20. So we'll see if Mandan gets it. Full court pressure from Bismarck. That's a little different twist.
Saylor defending Newstall.
They didn't get it because Saylor took away the low post.
She got Newstall on their hip and spun her around and got her behind her.
This will be a held ball. As Freeze was in on the mix. Now Ness will come back in for D-Wall. Well, Mandan had the play set up that it wanted, and Jenny Saylor took it away. And now she has the basketball. Bruner on the move. Poked away by Freeze. You know, Bruner all year usually pulls up or has pulled up many times with that, and I almost expect her to do it every time she's on the move toward the hoop to try to shoot that 8 to 10 footer. Saylor tries to bounce it, and it goes off of Gossett. Almost hit the mark.
Yep, Saylor tried to break down that defense by penetrating the middle of the paint and then bounce it off. But it just went off the hands of Gossett.
And here is where Hansen is tough. She can just dribble through and around any type of full court. For three, yes! The senior, Kylie Newstall, with a big three-pointer. And that's the biggest lead for Mandan at 4. Loose ball, and they blocked each other off and an over the back. It was Ness and Saylor hitting each other off the ball.
Well, what happened was that Freeze was able to get a hand in on it, but after that it was touched again by Demon, and then immediately after that,
full timeout now taken by Rich Hublin. We'll be right back in the Class A title game.
Tools give you the edge, the upper hand. Financial tools from U.S. Bank.
Hey, that's where they're going to go with the ball. We got to create some stuff. And doggone it, guys, now is not the time to hold the ball back. You get an opportunity, you pull the trigger. To score one with the clock running, we get a
Kai, here is Mandan with a 4-point lead at the 2-minute mark. Amy Freeze. The 4-point lead because of the big 3-point basket by Kylie Newstall. She has the ball right now.
Ooh, nearly stolen away by Bruner.
Freeze with it.
Mandan took the air out of the basketball last night.
In a totally different situation.
Totally different situation, mostly because Minot would not come out of its zone defense. So they were happy to hold the ball with the lead they had last night in the semis.
Hansen got it over to Frenzel. Frenzel scores! 23 for Angie Frenzel. So almost, well, it's been a minute 20 between baskets, and an excellent possession by Mandan to go up by 6. And we have a foul on Wright, and that's all for her.
Number 40, Nikki Wright, her fifth personal.
With 65 seconds left, Nikki Wright fouls out. And to tell you the truth, I can't believe we made it this far into the game to have Nikki be the first one to foul out. That's nothing against her. I'm just saying there's been so many players playing with 4 personal fouls right now.
I would have thought that it would the first person to foul out of this game would have been much earlier than 1:05 left in the game. Certainly.
And Rachel Conlon will come back in. For the 5th year in a row, Mandan in the state title game. With 1 championship 4 years ago. Bruner at the line, where she has been tough tonight. She has 13 points.
Now, you take a look at, despite that free throw shooting in the first half by Mandan, They're generally a pretty good free throw shooting team. Freeze, 80% free throw shooter. Hansen a 71.
Stacey Meese picked up her fourth. Tried to go for the steal. Not a bad situation. Frenzel in the backcourt. We've talked about her being able to do that before, but when a big girl puts the ball on the floor and you're the smaller one, you generally have a pretty good shot at it.
Frenzel shooting 1 and 1.
Frenzel a 56% free throw shooter. She's been at the line a lot tonight.
That was her 12th attempt. And an offensive board. Conlon, a block by Ness, but a foul on Ness. Fourth foul on Lindsay Ness. Offensive rebounding, a huge factor in the comeback for Mandan and the ability to take the lead for Mandan, and there was another one.
Well, if Rachel Conlon had not made any other play in the entire game, that would be the biggest. And it is because she's made some other plays in the game, but that's a huge offensive board.
And she is a good free throw shooter. She's 3 of 5 tonight, but just under 70% on the year. And she gives Mandan its biggest lead. It's a minute left.
It's been 2.5 minutes since Bismarck last scored. That was a couple of free throws, or a free throw by Bruner that got him within 1.
Short on the three-point attempt. Reach in on Jenny Saylor. Jenny Saylor just fouled out, but she needed to try to do something to stop the clock.
Boy, and they're thinking along that Mandan bench. Finally, maybe this is the year that we go from the bridesmaid to the bride.
And it's double bonus time for Angie Frenzel. Jenny Saylor just completed her final game as a high schooler, a senior, 5'6". Bruner comes in. You know, in '91, when these two teams met, Mandan came into the Fargo Civic with the swimming championship, and they wanted so much for their basketball friends to do the same. It didn't happen then. Looks like it'll happen now.
7 straight WDA regular season titles. 6 of the last 7 West Region tournament titles, but this is one that has eluded them since the one you just referred to.
In 1995, Meese for 3. The clock's on the run, the lead is 8. It is going to go to more than 8 because Amy Freeze has a layup 10-point lead. What a second half for the Mandan Braves.
That's a little icing on the cake.
Lisa Bruner hit a 3 and gets the timeout. Mandan, this is the 9th time in the 90s Mandan has been in the state basketball tournament. 6th time for the championship, and it'll be their 2nd. Here's the steal, and Freeze the other way.
Points off turnovers. They were a key for Mandan because remember the first 2 minutes of the third quarter? The 7-0 run, points off of turnovers.
At halftime, it was 31-24, and then it was 31-31 before Bismarck scored again. Kylie Newstall, how appropriate that she gets a chance to go to the free throw line.
Yeah,
she has 9 points, 3 threes. She's hit half of her 3-pointers, and the lone senior.
We'll make sure we talk to Kylie Newstall after the game because she, as well as anyone, will be able to define just what this championship means. Having been so close, I mean, to have it right there on the end of your fingertips the last couple of years and not to be able to finish the deal.
And for Kylie, literally off the end of her fingertips at the buzzer that missed in the West Fargo win last year.
Yeah. You got to believe that she's having, or will soon have, some flashbacks to that. What a difference a year makes, and on the same floor.
still makes the back half. 8-point lead. There's only 12 seconds left between Mandan. Team of the 90s? Yeah, absolutely. How can you do more in the 90s than that man and his teams have done?
I mean, that's not 32 minutes of celebration that they're about ready to rip into. That's a few years.